Algoma Public Health is warning anyone who uses street drugs to take extra precautions because there's been a rise in suspected opioid poisonings. APH is also asking the community to continue to support residents at risk of opioid poisonings and their loved ones. From November 26th to December 2nd, the emergency department at Sioux Area Hospital saw a higher than usual number of suspected opioid poisonings. Increased calls for opioid poisonings were also observed by city police. Street drugs can be mixed with dangerous substances like fentanyl that can cause an opioid poisoning. You may not be able to taste, smell, or see it. Associate Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Jennifer Liu, says opioid poisoning does not discriminate, and neither should we when it comes to getting people the health services and help that they need. Anyone who uses drugs should carry naloxone, which is free at APH, and make sure they always have someone with them when they use. Experts suggest you avoid mixing drugs, including prescribed, over-the-counter, and illegal drugs. Avoid drinking alcohol while using other drugs. If you have not used in a while, start with a lower dose. Your tolerance may be lower. And if you're in trouble, call 911 or reach out to friends and allies in the community. The case of a man accused of killing 10 people in a van attack in North Toronto returns to court today. Alec Minassian from Richmond Hill faces 10 counts of first-degree murder and 16 counts of attempted murder in connection with incidents on April 23rd. Police allege Minassian drove a rental van down a busy sidewalk along Yonge Street, mowing down pedestrians on the way. Last month, court heard the Deputy Attorney General granted the prosecution's request to skip the preliminary hearing in the case and head straight to trial. Minassian's lawyer said last month they are 10 to 18 months from a trial. Today's hearing will mark the first time the case appears before the Superior Court of Justice. The Canadian ambassador to the U.S. says Canada's pressure to include soft things like labor standards in the new North American Free Trade Treaty will help secure critical support for the deal from Democrats in the United States Congress. Now that the leaders of the United States, Canada, and Mexico have signed the agreement, it needs ratification from legislators in all three countries before taking effect. Democrats will get control of the U.S. House of Representatives in January, and some won't eagerly support a treaty President Donald Trump's representative, Robert Lighthizer, negotiated. But Canada's ambassador, David McNaughton, said yesterday that Lighthizer's support was key to including measures on the environment, labor standards, and a wage floor, all of which should appeal to Democratic Party critics. Nevertheless, Canada isn't assuming ratification will be easy. McNaughton said Canadian diplomats will rev up their machine to lobby members of Congress for their support. And there remains the matter of crippling tariffs on steel and aluminum by the Trump administration imposed on imports from Canada, ostensibly for national security reasons, while the treaty negotiations were on. The ambassador said he's pleased that a side letter to the treaty assures Canada no similar tariffs can be applied to cars made in Canada and exported to the United States. That letter is already in effect. Natural Resources Minister Amarjeet Sohi says the federal government is working on short and long-term solutions to Alberta's oil crisis. Alberta is moving to cut oil production in an attempt to boost prices.
We have been working with the province of Alberta and province of Saskatchewan over the last number of weeks, exploring various options, including oil by rail, including curtailment, including storage capacity, including building pipelines to find long-term permanent solutions to the price differential that Alberta has been facing. This is a crisis that we are really seized with finding solutions to,
As Ontario Hockey League teams move into the month of December and their pre-Christmas schedule, for a select number of those players, an opportunity will present itself that they each have hoped for throughout their careers: to represent their home country on the international stage. The path to wearing the maple leaf and an opportunity to head to the West Coast started for a trio of Greyhounds yesterday when Hockey Canada announced their selection camp roster for the 2019 IIHF World Junior Hockey Championship. Morgan Frost, Barrett Hayton, and Matthew Villalta are among 34 players invited to the camp that will include 3 goaltenders, 12 defensemen, and 19 forwards. Meanwhile, Greyhounds winger Roman Puchek has been selected to represent his home country at the 2018 World Junior A Challenge.